Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, looking at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Welcome back. I'm Kristen Hessler with my co-hosts Amber Garvin and
Howdy.
Cindy Murray.
Hi.
Today we are talking about day planners, and there's a whole lot of information about day planners. We're going to talk about the different types of day planners, what you can put in the day planner, what you might want to use.
Different types of planners.
So we're just going to have a general discussion about day planners. If you've looked at our blog, we have one blog post already go up about day planners, and then we'll have two more. So lots of different information, but today we're just chit-chatting. Amber, Cindy, and I have been using day planners for many, many years, and we found them very important in our lives with work, leisure, family, a necessity. And they've vastly improved our lives. And
Absolutely,
we are pro day planners. I will tell anyone that I meet, especially someone who might be struggling to get their life in track. Anyone that's trying to get back on track in life or trying to figure things out. My first question is, do you use a day planner? Because I feel like that is your first step.
Do you set goals?
Yes, I know. I'm like,
and this is a segment of our Goals Girl.
Yes. So welcome to another segment of Goals Girl, where we'll be discussing one of my most important things, the don't leave home without it. You know, you don't leave home without your ID. You don't leave home without your phone now or your wallet. Shoes on your feet and your glasses, those kind of things.
And your day planner.
Take your day planner. I
and
take it with me everywhere. So, and we'll get into why and all of that today. So, I wanted to start off first just asking everyone, when you first used a day planner, who encouraged you, or, how did you discover it? Why? What was the purpose? And
sorry.
So, for mine, first, I'll go first and then I'll pass it on to you. I actually used a day planner first in fourth grade. I was going through, I guess, some kind of mediation at school to help me get better grades and learn better at school. And so I had like a content mastery program that I went through with one of my teachers. They set me aside and taught me how to use a day planner. And I actually took my little day planner to each teacher in fourth grade, and I had to write down what the homework was if we had it, and the teacher would sign it so that my mom could see that, yes, I did have homework, or no, I didn't have homework, because I was one of those kids that said I didn't have homework when I did.
Yeah.
So I learned at a very early age how to use a day planner, and I stopped using it for a while, and then I got back into it when I became a supervisor at my job. My boss said, okay, all the supervisors, one of the things that I give them is a day planner, and I expect you to use it. And I got a day timer, which has a lot more in it than my childhood day planner that I had. It was a little binder, it's like a 6-ring binder, and it had like an address book and stuff in the back, and she taught me a lot of cool things. She gave me a couple of people to go check out online to look and see how they use their day planners, and I was hooked. And I have used my day planner every day except for a couple of weeks during lockdown. I didn't even look at it because everything was out the window. But I look at my day planner even when I don't have anything on the day. I check it.
Well, I started using them in college. Well, maybe even before that, but really religiously using one in college. I actually went to college a little bit later than some people did. I was a single parent, and so I had to keep up with a lot of different things. And I also had a work-study job at the college, so I had to keep track of projects and my work hours and my daughter's hours. Kristen is my daughter, in case y'all don't know that. And So, there was a lot of things I needed to keep track of, and in that one I started with just a day scheduler. It was a little spiral bound thing that had the hours broke into, I don't even remember if it was half hours or quarter hour segments. Each spread was a week, and so there was 52 weeks in the book, and I just tracked everything, blocked out time. It was very plain. It was very functional, and that was all it was. And I used that for years. Later, after I graduated, I moved up to a day timer. I had the little pocket version of it that fit in my purse. And I loved that because it had, my address book, and like she said, and there was like world time calculators and all kinds of different things in it. And again, though, I really used it. It was very functional. There was nothing pretty about it or anything like that. It was just functional. I progressed from that into actually a Palm Pilot. When those came out, I had a Palm Pilot, which I loved because it actually took the stuff off of my computer, because by then I was starting to put address books in the computer and lots of different things like that. And so I could kind of sync them together and have my calendar in both places. And that really, really helped. But it has definitely evolved from that. And we'll talk more about that too. But I've been using them for a long, long time. And my son, also Kristen's little brother, also used them in school in the same way she did. The teachers had to sign that they put the homework in the assignment. They actually provided them for them in junior high and taught the kids how to use them. That was, the whole school did the planners. And I think that was one of the best real life lessons that they taught in school, was how to keep a planner and, how to track their projects and stuff in that. And I wish more schools did that, because people need to learn that. A lot of people don't know how.
Agreed. Yeah.
And what about you, Amber?
My first day planner that I had was, I actually started using day planners in high school as a way to keep up with my time management and school assignments and all of the millions of extracurricular activities that I somehow ended up in high school. And I needed to know what date is what. And I always thought that it was a cool way for also to be just a little bit creative. It wasn't like a fancy planner. I usually carried one of those pocket ones every year, but I did some creative things with it, stickers and all kinds of stuff that people do now in their day planners. And I kind of carried the little pocket planner with me inside my all-purpose notebook, pretty much, or inside my purse, all the way up until Kristen convinced me that I needed to try a happy planner. And so about 2 years ago now, about 2 years ago, Kristen had convinced me that I needed to use a happy planner, and then now my world has completely changed.
They're amazing, aren't they?
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Happy Planner is a brand of planners. They are a disc-bound spiral, basically. So instead of a wire spiral that holds all your papers together, there's some little plastic discs, and the paper is punched in a way that the disc just slides into the slot.
Yeah, paper holes are open.
Yeah, the paper holes are open. So
you can easily take the paper out and put it back in.
And we'll link some information about those on the blog, on our Heard It on the podcast. But so Happy Planner is a brand, and I was introduced to those a few years back. I had been using strictly my phone, my computer as a planner. And these happy planners, these paper planners started coming back in style, and people were doing some really amazing things with them, creative, decorative type things with them.
Like a planner collage or a planner creative planning.
Yes. And,
drawing in their planner.
Drawing and using stickers and things like that. And so I started using a planner again, and I hadn't really used one in a long time, other than just keeping track of things on my calendar on my computer, and like the memos and things from my I went from the Palm to the iPhone to, and then but now I keep things on my iPhone and in my paper planner.
Yeah, for a while I was not using, before I had the day timer from work, I had gone strictly digital and was using my iCal, and I was using the reminder feature on the iCal. Before I had the reminder feature, I was using something else called Wunderlist, and basically it was a list type, almost like notes and reminder combined, but I like that now you have like all these timers you can set on your reminders, so you can actually schedule stuff with your reminders. But before, it was just like a checklist. And I feel like I get a lot more done now that I actually commit to writing it down in my
I think it
day
helps you
planner.
Remember it. Well,
and I'm actually like specifically picking a day to do something. It's not just on this long, never-ending list of things that need to get done. It's actually going.
You plan out a day and like
designating that time.
It's good for your cleaning checklist also,
which we talked about a couple of
weeks ago.
Yeah, I actually have my cleaning checklist is in my planner. But yeah, like she's talking about the scheduling, just actually scheduling things on a certain day, and the actual physical act of writing things by hand it's been
more
proven
committed to memory.
It's committed to your memory,
and that's the only way I can learn things is write it down. Really, I mean, if somebody says it to me, tells me, hey, we're going to do this on this date, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. I have to write it down.
Oh, me too. I can't keep track of when things are. My husband comes in all the time and says, I'm going to do on such and such date. Okay, whatever. And, an hour later, what day was that you were going to do this? Yeah, I totally.
So I still use the calendar and the reminders and stuff. It all goes in there. Oftentimes it goes in the iCal first. And like Outlook, I have an Outlook for work too, because, but I don't want my work Outlook on my iCal. I don't want those mixed together. So I have two separate calendars, and then I have my reminders and my checklists and my notes. And then I sit down and put all of that into my day planner. So it kind of gets looked at twice. So it's almost like a checks and balance of my own time, because I commit to something, I remind myself about it, and then I dedicate time for it. Right.
I actually have a Sundays are a kind of a self-care day for me, and that's includes my scheduling and setup for the next week. And so one of my things is tending to my planner.
Yeah, and so I wanted to talk about that too. Like, so when one person is interested in day planners, say for instance, if we were explaining day planners to someone who doesn't know anything about day planners or might want to learn more about them, that's something good to know about, like your routine.
Yeah, well, and what I do is every Sunday I have like a routine of things that I go through, and one of the first is to look at my calendar, and I keep everything on my computer's calendar, which syncs to my phone. So I always have anything that is time sensitive is always scheduled on the phone, so that I have reminders and I see it constantly. And so one of the first things I do is pull up my calendar for the week and just review it and see what is coming up before I do anything with my planner. And I only work 1 week at a time in the planner. I don't put things in ahead of time because I found early on that everything changes. And once you commit it to pen and then something gets canceled, you've got this big ugly mess. So it goes in the calendar before it goes in the book, and it only goes in the book the week, on that Sunday before that week.
Yeah.
So, and COVID was a big thing about that because I had all these things scheduled and they were in my planner, and then all of a sudden I had to black it all out, and it was gross. So, I just quit putting things in there. Well, there wasn't anything to put in there for a while, but
I have a system for that.
But
my supervisor actually, I was sitting in a one-on-one with her and was using my little day timer, and something had moved on my plans. So I had my day planner in there because we always bring our day planner in for our meeting because she's going to give you like 15 things to do for next week, and you need to have certain things done by a certain day, and someone's coming into the office this day, and blah, blah, blah. So you're writing it all in your day planner. And I remember something changing, and I was like, I had to scratch it out. And she goes, always write it in pencil. She wrote everything in her day planner in pencil.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. I like the markers, and I have a color coding system. But when I first started that, I discovered the whiteout is just fine for me.
Yeah, I use
whiteout. And I use a Sharpie. Most of my pens I use are Sharpie, so I just dry right over. Yeah. Well, and there's actually methods for that too.
Arrows.
Yes.
Arrows.
Something that gets rescheduled, you draw through it and put an arrow at the end.
And put what date it is, or you can do the little arrow with a bend in it, or an arrow with a loop in it to say that it was postponed or something like that. But yeah, so I pull up my calendar, and that's the first thing I do is look and see what's going on, and that kind of leads me to look at what my meal planning is for the week. I always start with that. How much time do I have to plan for my meals? Because my meals go on my day planner. I have a list of what my weekly meals are, because I have to plan ahead sometimes, and from there, I put in all my appointments, and I look at my task list, my work tasks. I look at my tending list from my power sheets, which we've talked about last fall. And I think it was last fall, wasn't it, that we talked about tending lists, power sheets?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was. And so you can go back and listen to that podcast if you want to know more about that. But all of those things tell me the tasks that I'm going to be working on for that week, and I just slowly kind of fill them out in my planner. Now, I will say that after COVID, when we first had the lockdown, I started getting a little less it's still handwritten, but my decorations and things in my planner, I was using up until that time a lot of stickers and things that they make for planners. So there would be a sticker that would say call and you fill in the blank, or go to, or errands, or shop, or whatever. And I was using those, and I actually figured out a way to, I kind of I scanned one of my planner pages and used Photoshop to kind of build an overlay template of the things that I did every single week that never changed. And then that way I wasn't always having to look for 15,000 little strips of bullets for all of my lists and things. And so I actually run my Happy Planner pages through my printer, and I'm going to talk about that on my blog tomorrow, and you'll see examples of some of what I've done, and it's actually very easy to do. It took a little bit of tinkering and playing with it, but once I got it, it really has sped up my planning a lot, because if I want to change my color scheme for the week, I just go in and click, 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 change the colors. But all of those things that are the same, like laundry day is always on Monday. Mm-hmm. I always have a bullet list for shopping on Tuesday. And there's just certain things that happen every week, and those stay the same. And so it just automatically prints that on there. And I don't have to reinvent the wheel every week.
Oh, yeah. See, my laundry day actually, typically I try to do laundry every Monday, but sometimes if I have like a free weekend where I'm home Saturday and Sunday and there's not major plans, I schedule laundry for that day, and I try to set aside to remind myself to take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I try not to make anything too permanent like that, but I could see where that'd be helpful to keep you in routine.
Right. And that's what it's mainly the stuff that's pretty much the same every week. And as for that bullet list, really all that is printing from the computer is the bullets themselves, because every week my list of errands change. So I'm still handwriting those in based on where I need to go. But the bullets,
the dots are still there.
The dots
yeah.
and the boxes and all that are there from the computer instead of being a sticker that I pulled out of a book and stuck in there.
So you just souped it up a little.
I did, yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is I think a lot of people get a day planner with good intentions and then they kind of forget about their day planner and they don't use it very often, or they say, oh, I get one and then I never use it. I like to think of a day planner like a garden. Yeah, you have to tend your garden.
You have to tend it or it's not going to grow.
And you got to go out there and water it every week and do your gardening.
I think that's why I got into the habit of doing it every Sunday on a specific day. And really it is. It's just a way of looking ahead at my week and knowing ahead of time what I'm going to be working on. But it really does keep me in that habit by doing it every day at the same time. And I have a routine built with it that it's the same order. I look at the same things in the same order and add them to my planner in the same order every week. And that really just helps me stay on top of it. And because I would have been also a sometimes use planner, otherwise. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes that's where Travis gets a little hung up on his day planner, because he only puts in the things like that I tell him to put in his day planner. And you kind of have to think outside of the box and add as many things as you can to it just to get into the habit of using it and going in and checking those things off. Like, even if it's not something
that you need to be reminded of,
right? You never have a problem washing laundry, then
but
I know
laundry is on Monday, but I put it in there anyway. And it is, there is a sense of satisfaction
and checking it
that
off.
You get in checking it off. And we've had this discussion before. Raise your hand if you're one of those people who have written something on your planner just so you could check it off. After the fact, you wrote it in just so you could.
I did that thing today.
Yep, I'm going to put that on my planner and check it off.
I put my daily to-do list in my planner just so I could check it off.
Oh, yeah. And there is. It's a reward system. You get a reward from it. And it is. That's one of the things that non-planner users or infrequent planner users have a hard time grasping, that you have to, just get yourself in the habit of writing everything down in there. My husband is one of those people. He is not a planner person. He does have a calendar on his computer and he uses it, but then sometimes he'll say, well, such and such is on such and such day. Well, you didn't send me a right. Well, I didn't put it in the calendar, and he does that. He doesn't put things on the calendar, or I'll ask him, when is such, oh, I don't remember. It's not on the calendar, because he doesn't put everything on the calendar. If it's a timed event and it is time specific and I need to know, to remember that I need to do it, it's going on the calendar.
Well, and even like little things, like we saw steak was on sale at the grocery store, and I told Travis, hey, why don't you go over there and pick some of those steaks up because they're on sale. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then the next day comes, and then I'm like, hey, did you get those steaks? Oh, I forgot. Man, if you had put that in your day planner and then checked it in the morning, you would have seen it.
Right.
And remembered, oh, I need to do this today. Even though it seems small and insignificant, it was something that you committed to doing.
And forgot.
And you forgot. And it was something you really wanted to do because he's the one that wanted the steaks.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I have my errand running to-do list is every errand that I can think of, you know, and sometimes I even put lunch on there because I want to remember
you need to
that
schedule it because you will forget and you'll get all off on your errands and then it'll be like 5 o'clock and you'll be like,
I didn't eat, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I schedule that in there, and
I put my work schedule in there. I work almost the exact same time every day, but I still put it in there because on the off chance that I'm off on a specific day or, you know, maybe Travis needs to know, you know, he can look at my day planner and, oh, here's a good question. Is your day planner private?
Mine is not. I actually, one of the things that I was taught using a day planner is that for it to be really effective, it should be open on your desk all the time. So you can see it. So you can see, you know, everything is right there. And so mine, I have a kind of a little U-shaped pit set up where I work. And it is open on a little side table right beside me. So all I have to do is turn to the right, and there it is, right there. So my husband can see mine anytime he wants. So
yeah, when I worked in the office, I kept mine out on my desk because there was so much stuff going on, and I had like one-on-ones with my agents and different things throughout each day. I had all my work tasks on there as well. And so I kept it out on my desk, and then I'd come home and I'd bust it out and put it on my desk when I was in college after work. You know, I had my homework, and that was one thing why I liked the Happy Planner, because there was on this one type of layout they had, it was like 3 blocks, and it was morning, noon, and night, but I actually had 3 segments of my life. I had work, home, and school. And so I had all the things I needed to do each day for those 3 sections of my life. And I used those little blocks that way. And it really, like, I think it got me through college. It got me back on track financially because I write down every month all of the bills that are due. It's auto drafted, you know, for such and such bill. And I know exactly how much it is, but it's on my day planner.
It's a good reminder.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, this is the day
that's going to withdraw $280 out of my account for that car insurance or whatever.
Don't go spending extra stuff
it's coming up.
Big sale, you know.
Yeah, because when it's out of sight, it is literally out of mind. And it's nice to have those little references there just to know what's coming up.
Yeah, we put our bill paying day, Mark and I. Most of our stuff is automated, but we have a couple of things that we have to handwrite checks for or go online and pay because they change, you know, from time to time. And so we have our bill paying days are written in the planner. My dog gets her monthly meds, her heartworm and things like that. And so I have that in the planner every month so that I remember.
Change, car maintenance pop up on mine. Reminders, like in the spring, you should hose off your air conditioning unit outside. You unplug it or take the fuse, whatever, and you like rinse off all the leaks and stuff. So I always put that like in April.
Right.
On the month to do things.
I like the idea of putting stuff in pencil like that. Things like that you know it's coming up a long way in the future. Just pencil it in there.
Oh, I sticky note it now. I don't.
Well, I do use sticky notes a lot too. But things that you know are coming up, or like I get clothing drives and stuff. You know, on this week, 2 weeks from now, there's going to be a clothing drive, and you know, we'll come by your house, put it out on your porch. Well, I just stick that little card in my planner right there on that week so that I know when I'm getting ready for that week, that's when I need to grab those clothing and put them out. I'm trying to think of all the different things I put on mine. There's all kinds of weird, I go to the chiropractor every 2 weeks. I schedule that on there. I schedule my visits with my mom at her facility there. It's on my planner. Any kind of tasks that are ongoing that I'm working on, like taxes. We just got through with taxes, so for several weeks at the beginning of the year, there's a little list of all the things I have to do related to taxes, things like that. I list those, and it's just a list that carries over from week to week to week, and I just work my way down the list, and that helps me keep track of what things I've done and what I haven't. So
my day planner has like this little small box that's like 3 by 4 inches, and it says Monday through Sunday. And I think it's like a note section or for birthdays or something. I actually put what we're having for dinner there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put the meals every week.
Because then I know, like, oh, we're having this. I can go run in there and take the chicken out of the freezer or whatever for Travis. That helps. Even if I'm not at home, I can see it if I take my day planner with me. And that's really key, is having it with you so you can look at it anytime. So you can adjust or make changes or commit to something or not commit to something. It's nice to have that, because then I know, like, oh yeah, I need to do this. One thing I noticed, like, Travis never takes his day planner with him because he doesn't need it at his job. But sometimes I wonder, like, if it would help him if it was in his car or something, or how he could improve his use of it, because he forgets to check it. He's not going to look at it at 4:00 in the morning when he goes to work.
Right.
He's struggling to get out the door awake, But he'll get to work and then he'll forget that he needed to do something after work. So that's kind of his struggle. Like, I think if he took it with him and it was in his car and he looked at it after work, then he'd know, oh, I need to do this.
Right.
Or, oh, I need to go home and cook dinner right away because it's a crock pot thing and Kristen's
maybe he
not
just
home.
needs some kind of electronic version of it that's on his phone.
Yeah.
That sends him reminders or something.
No telling. I don't know. I think he benefits from actually writing it down, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
what about you, Amber? Don't you use yours for lesson plans?
Yes, actually, I use my day planner for a lot of things. I use it, I kind of give myself I used to have, when I first started teaching, before I started using Happy Planner, I used to have like 3 or 4 different planners for different things. And now I just put everything in that one planner.
I'm so proud of you.
My daily life, like appointments and everything like that. And then I put my school stuff in the planner. And then I put my lesson plans in the planner. I do my budgeting in the planner. And I also keep like a food diary / protein count in the planner, so I know how many grams of protein I get per day. And then I put like 2 call lists in the planner, and I put like a grocery list sometimes in the planner, but I also carry around an all-purpose notebook for lists and such like that. But yeah, I put just about everything in the planner. I utilize all of the different ways that you can plan.
Yeah, I actually have 2 planner. You mentioned your food tracking your food in your planner.
Food tracking.
I used to track mine in my planner, but I use the Happy Planner brand, and they actually have health and fitness planners as well. And so I actually started keeping a health and wellness planner in addition to my regular day planner. And my health and wellness planner is more like a tracker rather than a planner. So I don't plan things in it, but I use it to track my sleep. I track my blood sugars because I am a diabetic. And I track my medications, what time I took them, and all of my meals, what kind of food I had, my weight, my steps. And when my sensors, I use the Freestyle Libre blood glucose monitoring system. So I track how often I change my sensors and what the serial number is on the sensor, so that when a sensor goes out, I know the information, the correct information to give to the manufacturer to let them know which one went out. And so I keep a lot of stuff like that. But it like I said, it's more of a tracker, but it is actually made by Happy Planner. And you were talking about an all-purpose notebook. They actually make note-taking notebooks as well.
They do, yeah.
And I've done what there's Happy Planner enthusiasts often call them a Franken planner. So we've kind of Frankensteined a bunch of things together. And I have several of those as well. I have my No Drama Llama, Mama's No Drama Llama planner or resource book or something like that. I can't even remember what it says on it. But it's got a big llama on it to remind me that this is resources, so there won't be any drama. And it's like lists of things and all the little, like Kristen talks about her family notebook. It's kind of my family notebook. So it has important emergency information and go-to lists of meals that I can make really quick and all kinds of little things. And there's like just different dividers. But so it's not really so much of a planner, but it is using that same system, that same disc-bound system. Another disc-bound system that's like that is called Tool, T-U-L, and you can get that one at office supplies, like Office Depot, Staples, or whatever. And it's a very, it's the same kind of discs, and in fact, the discs and the pages are interchangeable between them. So I've often bought the Tool refills to put in my Happy Planner, because you can buy bullet journal dot grid paper. You can buy graph paper, lined notebook paper just to keep notes. There are all kinds of things. And you can add those to your planners, or you can do like I did and make a Franken planner. Both of my planners are, of those kind of planners, are the 8.5 by 11 size. And I have the hole punch that goes with it. So if I get a handout from my doctor with a bunch of food calorie counts or whatever, I can just punch it and stick it right in that book, and it's very handy for me. And that really is what the planners are all about for me. It's more than just keeping track of the things I need to do on a certain date and a certain time, but it's the lists of things I need to do and the lists of things I need to remember. Not just do, but just remember. So, a list of good low glycemic meals that I could make for my family if I'm struggling to find something to cook, or lists of card places that I can take my car to go work at, or different things. And it just kind of helps me to have those all in one place where I can look it up.
Yeah, that's kind of why we were doing the home binder, because I actually had that in the back of my Happy Planner.
Mm-hmm.
I had,
mine too. Yeah.
And that way I could carry it with me. I had important information. That way,
Yeah.
if I was at work and I needed to
But my Happy Planner kept getting thicker and thicker and thicker.
Well, and then if I'm not at home and I take it with me, then Travis doesn't have access to it. So that's why I kind of wanted to recreate it into the home binder, where it was just a little bit less information, just the primary important information that's relevant to all of us.
Right.
And then I'll probably kind of divide out some of that stuff and toss some of the old pages that are getting kind of wear and tear.
I kind of need to go through mine a little bit too, but it started out as just a place to collect all that information, because I didn't want to stick it in a file cabinet, because then it's, like you said, out of sight, out of mind.
Right. Well, and I find it's nice, like, if you have important contact phone numbers, like a lot of day planners have, like, the address book in the back. But Happy Planners and a lot of them don't do that anymore, because
everyone uses their phone.
But one of the things that I found that actually makes me more likely to actually do one of the things on my to-do list on my day planner, like say I need to call the doctor when I'm sitting down on Sunday, yes, is I'll just go ahead. There's a section on my day planner because I have the dashboard style where there's like all the week, Monday through Sunday on one side, and then on the left side it has like calls and errands. There's like a little section.
So they're not on a certain day.
Right.
They're just in their own section.
Well,
right.
And I may put on there call doctor, but then on the call section, I'll put her phone number over there.
Okay, right.
To remind myself, like, hey, I need to do that. Because that might not be something where I'm going to say on Tuesday, I'm going to call the doctor to schedule an appointment. I just know it's something I need to do.
Right.
So,
right.
And I'll see it every time I look at my day planner.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I need to call the doctor to schedule that appointment. There's her phone number. Boom. Just grab my phone and call.
Right. Yeah, I like that, having everything right there handy, and like account numbers or prescription numbers or whatever right there where I can look at it and refer to it. It just makes life so much easier. And I actually use what they call the vertical layout in my planners. So instead of having the Monday through Sunday on one side and the other stuff on the other side, like Kristen's, mine is big long columns. The first column is just like a list, and that's where I put my menu and my list of ongoing projects for the whole week, or that the ones that carry over into the next week and the next week and the next week. And then each day is a big long column, and it's broken up like Kristen described in 3 chunks. So it's supposed to be morning, afternoon, and evening. And I pretty much use it that way, although it's kind of flexible,
So I've been using the dashboard for the past 2 years, I guess. Well, this year, this 2020, and then last year 2021. During 2020, I had that layout like you had, the vertical one, when I was working in the office.
Right.
And, there I had like a team I was supervising. I had employees in California. I had employees in Texas. And I had work from home agents, and then I had, agents working in an office. So I had a lot of work that took up my day planner page for each day. And then I had a lot of home stuff too, because I had scouts, fiance with a kid and other things, a lot of stuff going on my day planner. COVID happened. I didn't go many places, and then my work no longer required a lot of things to go on my day planner. I'm just taking calls in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So I no longer needed that large space, that real estate for all of the notes. This year I was actually thinking, I hope I'm going to be able to survive this year, because I'm getting a team again. And so there's going to be more one-on-one coaching and a lot of daily tasks that my role, I'm getting back into the swing of things. And I'm like, it's not going to fit. My dashboard layout only gives me 6 lines to write things down, and they're already almost full on some weeks.
Right.
Without all the extra stuff for work. So I may have to go back to, I don't know, we'll have to see how this year pans out with the new dashboard. That's one thing too, like, get a day planner. Try it out. If it's not the right fit, toss it out and get another one. You don't have to commit to that day planner for the whole year.
Right.
They're not that expensive. Some of them are really expensive. The one that we just got Travis for this year was like $70, but it came with a zipper thing. I kind of discussed that in the blog because he's really rough on his, even though he hardly ever uses it. The pages are always coming out of it. I guess he's a guy. He wasn't all gentle with his. So we had to get him something that was a little bit more sturdy and could close without losing its content. So we invested in a day timer for him. He tried the Happy Planner because he wanted one like mine, but he didn't like that there weren't any for guys besides the Tool brand.
There
Yeah,
really
the
are
Tool.
the Tool ones, but the Tool ones are strictly functional. There's
Yeah.
nothing decorative about them really
Yeah,
at all.
and
They're
he just
very
wanted one
functional.
for a guy that was like the Happy Planner.
So hello,
It
Happy
didn't have,
Planner.
like, flowers
There
or
are
whatever on it.
guys who use Happy Planners, and maybe some more masculine
I
or
went in
some
and
plainer ones.
The one
yeah.
he picked out was Wrong. If you are familiar with Happy Planner, Wrong is an artist, and the designer for that, she did like caricatures, I guess, of women. There's all
Yes.
these cartoon
Female
designs,
characters,
female
yes.
characters, and so the one he picked out because the layout and it was already dated was Wrong.
And it had all
So,
these girls in it.
It had
Yeah,
all
yeah.
these girls, and I was like, "Do you want me to cover up the girls?" And he goes, "Yeah, you can if you want." So I went in and I used scrapbook paper on every page and covered up
Oh wow.
the girls, and I made a new cover for him,
Uh-huh.
and I changed out the discs
Yeah.
to a different color.
So basically it was a Franken planner.
Yeah, I had to remake it for him, basically. Yeah.
So yeah, well, I the one I picked this year is in the past the pages were a lot more decorative and colorful, and actually the one that I started using this year from Happy Planner is a lot more black and white. There's very little artwork in it, and it's very plain, and I like that a lot because then I can decorate it
At the colors
myself
you
at
want.
the colors that I want. And, because that changes from week to week for me. This week I might want pinks and yellows, and next week I might want orange and blue. And, I
I hardly
never
mess
know.
with that. I have all of these stickers from Happy Planner. It's me and my big ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a ton of those,
a ton of
too.
them, and all these little like color block stickers that you can put on there to decorate it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm lucky if I put a couple of stickers where there's holidays. I try to do that between October and January, just kind of like, okay, here's Halloween. I'm gonna put some Halloween stickers on
See,
here.
that's the first
that's
thing
about
I
it.
do when I get my planner is I'll get and see
Personalize it.
Yeah, I start mine mid-year because I'm a teacher, so I start mine in July, August.
And that's one thing that's nice about Happy Planner too is that they have
they switch
July
out
to
the
July
months and,
running calendars, which is really nice, and they have some specifically for educators.
But yeah, I don't get the educator one because I don't want something that says "oh teacher" all over it.
Oh yeah.
I get something with like a cool saying or a cool picture. I mean, I'll go in and my picking process is just, I guess, not for everybody, but I'll go in and I will look at them and I will pick them up, and then I will take the one that gives me the best vibe.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And it doesn't, and I don't really look inside it to see like what kind of middle layout it is. I always just happen to pick the one with the vertical layout. But I will get it, and the first thing I do is I will go to a coffee shop somewhere. I'll get the stickers. I still have a bunch already that I have, and I'll probably get new stickers, whatever's on sale at the time. And I will go to the coffee shop or wherever, somewhere nice where I can like lay it out on a table, and then I will put the stickers in it. Like for every holiday, I'll personalize it. Every birthday, I'll get my old planner and I'll put them side by side, and every birthday gets a birthday sticker.
Yeah.
Every payday gets a payday sticker.
I used to
it's
do
a
that.
fun day for me.
I used to do that. I would prep it. I would start the January one, and so in December I would prep my thing and put all the birthdays and holidays, and then I found partway through the year that sticker for somebody's birthday was right where I needed to put something else. And
I just work around that.
So I
just go over it or work around it.
Yeah.
And I probably could too, but it just became easier for me to put it
put
in
a
as
lot
I
of
go.
stuff in yours.
My
is
planner is
full of
very,
words.
very full. So like I mentioned, the three sections, I have like on Tuesday, I will have 2 sets of bullet points that fill up 2 of those sections for errands and tasks that I have to do that day. And really I can often fill up all 3 sections between errands and shopping lists. So it's not just the errands, but sometimes it's I'm going to Office Depot because I need to buy printer toner, printer paper, file folder, and I'll have this whole list there because it's easier for me to keep it right there on the planner than to have a bunch of different lists that
Little
I might
pieces of paper that you might forget at home or whatever.
Leave it at home, yeah. So, but I like to do it 1 week at a time because then I can move things to where I need it at the time. But I did love to sit there and put the birthdays in and stuff. That was a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun to decorate them too with the stickers or whatever.
One year you used to put people's photo. You had like a little picture, like a photo of the person's birthday.
I only did that 1 year. I started to do it the next year, but what I had done was instead of just write the name of the person's birthday, I took a little picture and cut it in a little circle, and I matted it on a little kind of like a ribbon, like a medal, like a first place ribbon or whatever. And their little picture was in the middle of it. And I noticed that my book was getting really heavy because I put them all at the top and the top of the day. And my book got really thick and fat right at the top, where in the same spot, because all of those birthdays were building
in the same
up.
place, yeah.
And so I quit doing that. I really liked that, but it was really bulky.
Yeah, I just go in now. That's one of the first things I add is the birthdays. I add that at the bottom of the day.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's on the bottom line on every page, and it's in the exact same color. So it's in like a blue.
Right.
And I write that person's birthday, and I copied off of some information you had given me the year for people. I added that this year because it was like, that's kind of nice to have their year for some of my like older relatives to actually know how old they are.
Right.
I didn't know a lot
and
of
for
them.
kids too. Yeah. For less
I do that
close.
whenever I say Kristen is turning whatever.
Right.
Oh, yeah. See, I just put the year so I don't have to do the math.
Right.
Yeah, so I like that. It's helped me keep up with the birthdays. I've been sending out cards this year. One of the things I do is on Sunday, I look at my upcoming birthdays on Sunday to make sure, or the week before, so I can send out birthday cards.
I do that as well, and
for everybody.
And
that's
I
on my
do put the birthdays
in
in the calendar, but I don't do it ahead of time at the beginning of the year like I did before. Actually, what I do is the Happy Planners more recently have had a list at the front of the book, and it's just a daily list where you can write things in on each day, and it's just a real quick tracker, and I just put all the birthdays there. And that's a easy, quick place. And they're also in my iCal on my
on
my
phone,
Macintosh
computer,
and on my phone, so that they're there. I get reminders and I put them on the calendar later. But I use that bottom section. There's like a little decorative margin strip at the bottom, outside of the little vertical parts. And every week I have two things, one on each side, each page. On the left-facing page, I have a thing, I call it 30 minutes of admin. So it's 30 minutes of administrative work that I'm going to do at work that's not on my schedule at work. So it's just, cleaning out file folders or just neatening, kind of back office kind of things that you don't, it's things that you need to do, but you don't always make time to do it. And so every week I'll put a focus on there of what I'm going to work on. Like 1 week it might be update my passwords, and the next week it might be clean out the file cabinet, or check for birthdays for my clients, or, different things. And then the other side, on the right-hand side, I use that part, and it just says next week, and then it's any big events that I'm looking for the next week. So
that's a good idea.
So if I know that Easter is next week, that's the reminder that Easter's next week. Or next week, my mom is coming to visit
on
or
Monday.
whatever,
Yeah,
or
because
whatever.
you wouldn't notice it until Monday. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, well, it's too late. So by knowing that that's coming up next week, I can prep for it. And then in the bottom of the actual sections of 3, that's where I write like I schedule our bill paying. I have certain days that I write blogs or I edit the podcast, because there's a little bit of editing work for the videos and the podcast, and getting those ready to air. And so I have those scheduled down there. It's not really scheduled at a certain time or during the day. It's just each day there's a different task that I do, and I write those in there so that I remember to take care of those every week. And yeah, that's kind of what I put there.
Cool. Any other tips you guys have for someone who's might be kind of new to day planner or would benefit from pro?
Don't overwhelm yourself. Really, like just start slowly, like I did.
Yeah.
Don't try to do everything in your day planner at once.
But do it every day. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my advice is if you're struggling to check in every day, find something that you can log every day in your day planner. Like if you have an iPhone or a Fitbit, write your steps at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Into it
Give
so
you an
that you get a
excuse
chance
to
to
look
look
at
at
it,
it. Yeah, because
My-
if you go before bed and log that you did 10,000 steps, then you'll have
You
that
can
opportunity to
ahead
look at
the
tomorrow.
next day. Yeah, and that's my tip is to look at your day planner every night before you go to bed. I have a little prep routine that I do every evening. Look ahead at what I'm going to work on. Maybe get those things out, to work on them.
Mm-hmm.
And so by looking at my planner right then, I can see, I'm going to have to work on this tomorrow. Make sure I remember to do that. And then that morning when I get up, I also have another routine, and I do all my steps. And the first thing that I do when I'm getting ready to work is look at my planner and see what's on the plan. Before I check the email, before I do anything else, I look at the planner to see
Yeah, because
what
you might
the
see
plan
that you
is.
have a doctor's appointment at 11 o'clock that you forgot about.
Right. Yeah. So I always look at it right before I go to bed and then in the morning also.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my tip.
Good stuff.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I think that's it. Is there, do we know what next week?
Yeah, what are we talking about next week?
Yay!
Yeah.
This is going to be, oh my, guess what?
What?
May the 4th.
May the 4th
be with
You. So, we're going to have a discussion about Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Yeah, so
Are you one side or the other?
Are you on the dark
side?
Or are you on the...
So we're gonna kind of talk about that, something a little light and fun, and
Go where no man has gone before.
well, yeah, I'm pretty sure this discussion has been
yeah,
discussed
it's been-
many times.
Oh, yeah.
So this will be a fun discussion, I think, and don't forget that we have more Eckhart Tolle coming up. So if you're reading along, keep reading along. We're almost done. I think we've got
just a few more
chapters left. So so keep up with us on that, and those will no longer be a regular podcast during the week. They will show up as an extra podcast. So we'll remind
material.
you. We'll keep reminding you when that's gonna pop up. And we need to thank Red Door Studios, Creative Audio Tech, for help with the gear and all of the audio. Yeah, and the music. They Creative Audio Tech did our little soundtrack for us. And we want to thank all you listeners for coming back week after week after week. Give us some ratings. Give us, if you like what you hear, give us some good ratings on the podcast. We need good ratings so that we'll show up in the feeds for other people and other people can find us. Because as long as we don't have a whole lot of ratings, the more ratings we have, the more often we will show up in people's searches and things. And so we want to help other people find us. And we also want to know if you like what you're hearing. So go over and comment on the blog, comment on the YouTube, comment on the Facebook. Let us know what you see, what you like, what more you want to hear, what you don't like. We're open to hearing what you don't like as well. So please share that with us, and we hope you'll join us again next week.
Bye.